But does space exist when there is a dome over the Earth?
People actually believe they walked on the moon, talked with Nixon, played golf, drove a car, and planted a flag.
If you really believe that Neil Armstrong took the first step, then why do you give any credit to the cameraman already there waiting for him?
These guys were all US military men coerced into acting. They wanted the money and power that came with the deal, of course. The problem was, they were terrible actors. They couldn't even pretend to be excited, knowing they were lying to the world. But the show had to go on. Michael Collins and Neil Armstrong rarely spoke in public about it. But there was one man not shy about lying to your face. The spokesperson for the Apollo deception.
It's my pleasure to present Colonel Edwin Aldrin.
No handshake, hug, smile. Their facial expressions are similar to those experiencing constipation, not celebrating an accomplishment.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with a great sense of pride as an American and with humility as a human being that I say to you today what no men have been privileged to say before. We walked on the moon.
I mean, they couldn't pay them enough to look up and smile? Society has always debated these planned Apollo events since day one, never imagining then that almost 50 years later, they haven't had the balls to fake another.
Neil Armstrong's famous first step is filmed by the mysterious cameraman. And did you know, this photo was also in the newspaper on the same day that the film roll was still on the moon. When we adjust the light intensity, the film studio appears. I took this photo from the internet years ago. Nowadays, every NASA photo is replaced by 100% black. That is a lot of work and costs a lot of money, but that's no problem. But that same first step turned out to be at least the second.
Over. On the bottom rung of the ladder. Just one more step and I'm tranquility.
How dare you to question this technical wonder? When zoomed in, it's just paper and tape. With buckled and open cardboard panel joints. And tent poles. And after landing, no blaster crater from the landing thruster. And no dust or debris from the thruster. Totally clean. At 1/6 of the gravity of Earth, they say, the moonlander should be completely buried by its own force. And this cute little car on lead batteries came along too. Where is the garage door to the lunar lander? How? And Nixon is chatting with the astronauts without delay while they play golf on the moon. But in the background of his office, there is already a photo that the astronauts have yet to take. But who took this world-famous photo? Always the mysterious cameraman. Here is a video of the departure of the moonlander after its stay.
More days pushed. Engine arm is S. Okay, I'm going to get the pro. 99, proceeded, 3,
Watch.
2, 1.
The cameraman zooms out
Ignition.
and lifts up.
Vector good.
He is probably still waiting to be picked up with his roll of film.
Roger, you have good thrust. Okay, 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Have you noticed the strange colored explosive during takeoff?
Ignition.
Some colored pieces suddenly freeze 2 images, and others disappear into nothing, in slow motion. Looks very artificial to me. How can this change in this? And then again in this? And where do those floats suddenly come from? I think they had to blow it up on the way back to Earth. Even David Copperfield. Nowadays we can't go to the moon anymore. All this great 60s technology has been destroyed. Why? Nobody knows.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Recently I found this image of the Tesla car in space. Do you remember? Just like with Neil Armstrong's first step, I've lit the image up and a wheel clamp appeared that should hold the car on the frame for the video. And then Elon Musk says this on television. And there have been more strange things said on TV. Here are the 3 Apollo 11 heroes.
Collins, but for today, how often are you reminded of your achievement?
Well, if I go out back and look up in the sky and see the moon, either I can remember where I was 20 years ago, or I can pretend I've never been there, and it works for me either way. I can pretend I've never been there. I can pretend I've never been there, and it works for me either way.
If you were a part of a team that changed the world with the moon landing, then you have something to celebrate when you come back. It's something much bigger and more important than, for example, a football championship or winning a car race.
And Argentina have won the World Cup! The first bottle of the sparkly stuff that Charles Leclerc will be exposed to tonight.
Would each of you give us your estimate of what is the meaning of this to all of us?
You want to try that?
After you.
Well, I believe that what this country set out to do was something that was going to be done sooner or later, whether we set a specific goal or not. I believe that from the early space flights we demonstrated a potential to carry out this type of a mission, and again it was a question of time until this would be accomplished. I think the relative ease with which we were able to carry out our mission, which of course came after a very efficient and a logical sequence of flights, I think that this demonstrated that we were certainly on the right track when we took this commitment to go to the moon. I think that what this means is that many other problems perhaps can be solved in the same way by taking a commitment to solve them in a long time fashion. I think that we were timely in accepting this mission of going to the moon. It might be timely at this point to think in many other areas of other missions that could be accomplished.
Well, everybody looking at me? Well, to me, there are near and far-term aspects to it. On the near term, I think it's a technical triumph for this country to have said what it was going to do a number of years ago, and then, by golly, do it, just like we said we were going to do it. Not just perhaps purely technical, but also a triumph for the nation's overall determination, will, economy, attention to detail and 1,001 other factors that went into it. That's short term. I think long term, we find for the first time that man has the flexibility or the option of either walking this planet or some other planet, be it the moon or Mars or I don't know where. And I'm poorly equipped to evaluate where that may lead us to.
I just see it as a beginning, not just this flight, but in this program, which has really been a very short piece of human history, an instant in history, the entire program. It's a beginning of a new age.
Wow, it's a tough question, I guess. So tough. What an absolute joke.
Thank you so much for watching this video. And maybe see you at the next one. Bye bye.